There was a report from a few days ago, maybe a week ago or something. It came out of Vanity Fair, right? So just go ahead and temper your expectations. It said that there was a rift growing between Trump and DeSantis, and that DeSantis was going to run because he hates Trump, and all of that kind of bitch shit that happens in the Vanity Fair offices, but not between like actual alpha men. But hey, if they want to go ahead and project their own insecurities out there and they want to try to create this rift in the very hardcore Republican base, hey, be my guest. Nobody took it seriously. Barely anybody reported on it. And then DeSantis just once again, it's like, okay, you just take a look at the headline here. Ron DeSantis responds to speculation he's running for president in 2024. I'll save you the read. He's not. It's totally fabricated. And I still think he's going to be the running mate, or maybe that's just me hoping aloud that he's the running mate of Trump in 2024, because it looks like Trump's going to be running in 2024 to the surprise of probably nobody. But he has his reasons. They are numerous for not making the announcement quite yet. Some of them are little just stupid technical shit because he has his mind made up. Now, if he starts putting better people around him, especially the people that helped him out in the 2016 campaign, because there were a bunch of good soldiers over there. And yeah, if he picks a better running mate this time, somebody he could set up for another 8 years after the 4 years in 2024, everybody would be better off because of it. And we would actually find a way out of this upcoming global depression that we're heading towards for the next 3 years. Wishful thinking? I don't know, maybe, but we're trying to end the day on a fucking positive note. I know we're going to end it on a hilarious note, but where it goes from there, I'm not too sure. But hey, yeah, just in case you didn't believe me, which at this point, I think I've proven my truth credentials, but you know what? Hey, let's keep batting 1,000. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis denied claims and rumors suggesting he would run for president in 2024. He said he's focused on performing his duties as governor of Florida. Yeah, he's got to run again in 2022, and I think there's only 2 term limits in Florida, so he'd be limited out by the time 2028 rolls around, and there won't be another presidential election until 2026 he'd be out, so he'd just be sitting on the sidelines for 2 years. But that's why I hope that he's setting somebody up in Florida, like his lieutenant governor, somebody like that, to take over the reins. I'm just hoping, once again, maybe this is just hoping out loud. All the speculation about me is purely manufactured, said DeSantis during a press conference in St. Cloud, Florida on Tuesday. I just want to do my job and we work hard. I hear all the stuff and it's honestly nonsense. No shit. For months now, speculation has mounted, mostly by people who just see how good of a job he's doing in Florida and then just looking at the job that's happening in the White House and wanting Florida man to take over for old man and not crazy cackle lady. But it doesn't work like that. We had a fair and open and honest and most secure election of all time that was definitely fortified. The Time News told us, and the most popular man to have ever lived stumbles, staggers, and gaffes his way through his presidency right now. I wish him nothing but the best. Yeah, speculation mounted that DeSantis, a Republican, would make a run for presidency if former President Donald Trump doesn't enter the race. There's some midwits that are out there that saying, oh, even if Trump enters, DeSantis should as well because he speaks nicer than Trump. It's like you get one Trump a generation, okay? Are you going to waste that just for the fucking dollar store Trump? Go fuck yourself. Your opinion means less than not. If Trump's not going to enter the race, though, you got to take DeSantis. He's the only bright spot in that field. There's a lot of people I'd like that presumably would run in 2024, but it's still too early to announce your candidacy because it's still got a midterms ahead. Trump himself suggested earlier this year that he could choose DeSantis, whom he promoted during his 2018 gubernatorial campaign, as his running mate if he decides to in 2024. DeSantis' comments come days after he was scheduled to headline an event in Nebraska. Yeah, a lot of these fucking very pricey dinner dates, or whatever the fuck, banquet halls, elite parties, they always happen in the middle of the country. I just find it a little bit weird. with several other potential GOP presidential candidates, including former Vice President Mike Pence, who, if he ran, he would get Kamala Harris numbers in the primaries. I'm just saying, nobody really likes Mike Pence. Like, he doesn't hop off the page. He doesn't really, strike you as anybody presidential. He's like a really good number two. Like, he's always got his back. You guys remember those pictures that were out there that, whenever Trump would be up on stage, Mike Pence would just be off in the corner, just staring at him, just like with silent admiration, like a boy looks at his father. And Senator Ted Cruz. It's I really like Ted. I think he should probably take over the Senate, and I think that's mostly where his career is going to take him. But again, maybe I'm just talking about my political wish list. Trump, meanwhile, has not publicly said whether he would run for president again, citing campaign finance laws. And that's where we're going to go, okay? Because Trump, 2 big rallies that are coming up. Fucking fly. You got one in Iowa, but then there's the big one that's going to be in Georgia, the Save America rally. The branding just, I don't like it, but it's typical Trump. So it's verbose, it gets the crowd excited, and it's, it makes sense in that regards, but I just don't like being that hyperbolic. But hey, there I am talking about rhetoric and liking less, or rather lambasting the fucking midwits that think that DeSantis would be better because he says nicer things. There would be fewer mean tweets. I don't care. For all I care, just bring out strippers with fucking sparklers and Old Glory bikinis. I don't give a shit. Former President Donald Trump will return to Georgia in late September for a rally. A Klan rally, whatever. A Republican politician and business leader is slated to headline the Save America rally. The Republican politician and business leader. The 45th President of the United States, you fucking cunts. On September 25th at the Georgia National Fairgrounds and Agri Center in Perry, Georgia. Sounds like he's going to be stumping at a state fair, but then again, they're also framing this as he's the guy who was on The Apprentice. Fucking 4 years just to escape you or something. Event doors are set to open at 2 p.m. and you can register for tickets right there. Cool. If you're in the Georgia area, I think it would be a pisser, and I definitely want to go to one of these rallies before 2024. It just looks like a hell of a lot of fun, and I think that would just be a great time, but only time will tell if Canadians are allowed to cross the southern border, even to just escape. I'll just take a flight to Mexico and then just try to get through Texas because I love to live in Texas anyways. Rally comes the same month that Trump announced his endorsement of State Senator Burt Jones for GOP primary for Lieutenant Governor and newly declared U.S. Senator candidate Herschel Walker. Yep, we touched on that before, and he's going to be running. He filed his paperwork not long after it was theorized that he was going to file his paperwork, and he has a campaign video out there. So, yep, Herschel Walker is going to be out there. He's going to be challenging, what's his name there? The wife beater, Raphael Warnock, right? The preacher man. Imagine that. That doesn't happen very often, right? And Vernon Jones, he's also running. I think he's running in the primary, and I think he's got Trump's endorsement. They don't include that there. He's running for governor against Brian Kemp, so it'll be interesting. Neither endorsement was a surprise. Trump had publicly encouraged Walker to enter the race. Talked about that as well. Run, Herschel, run. Well, he had attacked Jones' top GOP rival, State President Pro Temp Butch Miller, of Gainesville, for not doing enough to to just fucking run an audit fair and openly and honestly. And I remember breaking down the certain phone call. It was 56 minutes long, and then YouTube in their infinite wisdom took down that video. I think it's still up on... It's definitely up on Rumble. I don't know if it got mirrored over there in enough time for Odyssey, but if you want to check that out, it's a long boy, and I'm very proud of it. But yeah, no, you didn't ask them to do anything of the such, and just asked them to check the ballots. God, this is a Fox affiliate, huh? That's interesting. Trump in March endorsed U.S. Representative Jody Hice's bid for Secretary of State as he seeks to unseat fellow Republicans and incumbent Brad Raffensperger. Aha. A much more prominent target of Trump's ire, yes, because he recorded a phone call and leaked it, which was illegal, but because you can't prove that he was the one who leaked it to the Washington Post, you can't charge him with anything. It's not one of these things like, oh, lock up Raffensperger for what? For reasons. And it's like, no, people ain't that stupid. Oh yeah, it does. I don't know why they broke up these endorsements like this, but whatever. Governor Brian Kemp has also been the subject of Trump's wrath, for many people's obvious wrath. And, hey, he was in good graces by holding firm on the election integrity laws that he signed in, but then he also was like, ooh, me first when it comes to settling Afghan refugees. It's like, fucking what, dude? Anyways, subject of Trump's wrath, the former president has not endorsed a challenger to Kemp, although Democrat turned Republican Vernon Jones has been openly campaigning for Trump's support. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought that already went through. Jones was an early endorser of Trump in 2016. He is one of a group of state senators who urged Kemp to call a special session to consider overturning Georgia's presidential election results, and who signed a court's brief supporting a failed lawsuit. This is a Fox affiliate? What the fuck? You guys aren't even remotely getting anything right. Failed in the sense of the Supreme Court not taking it up at all whatsoever. It's like the same framing those fucking idiots are right now saying, the Supreme Court failed to act on abortion. Well, they just didn't even bother hearing it. So, you know what? Hey, fucking all the power to you, stupid. But because I thought that they actually had, the reason why Trump hasn't publicly announced his candidacy, and that was kind of a worthless article. But hey, now you know the endorsements that are out there, and he's going to be in Georgia. Get your tickets soon. Whatever. Trump, meanwhile, has not publicly said whether he would run for president again, citing campaign finance laws. But in recent days, advisors to the former commander-in-chief suggested that he would, while Trump also sent out an email to supporters last week with polls that show he would lead the Republican field of candidates by a significant margin. Those polls have never really changed except for a couple of aberrations when he was absolutely quiet and DeSantis was kicking ass in his stead. I would say somewhere between 99 and 100%. Advisor Jason Miller, who is also the CEO of social media website Getter, which is offering a truck giveaway, just goes to show you how good that platform has taken off. Listen, I wanted to give it a shot, but it kind of looks dead in the water. But hey, if you're an American citizen that doesn't live in Hawaii or Alaska, I think that's what the email said, you can win a loaded out Ford F-150, the super cab. So that's pretty cool. And he was also recently detained in Brazil, but I got to do more information on that. And then things that have been kicking off in Brazil are noteworthy. I just can't find too much coverage on them. So more on that soon, maybe. I don't know. When speaking to Politico, Miller said the former president hasn't made a final decision. He's made a final decision, guys. But you know what he is going to be doing in the interim? Okay, so we know what he's going to be holding a rally in Iowa. He's going to be holding a rally in Georgia. He's been making endorsements, and he's also broadening the scope. This is hilarious. He's also going to be broadening the scope of what he's attaching himself to. Evander Holyfield is going to be boxing in an exhibition match against Vitor Belfort, which is an interesting matchup. Like, if these two guys squared off in their prime, the Holyfield in the boxing match would light up Belfort, but if this is going to be TRT Vitor, we got ourselves a scrap here. Okay, but this is also put on by Triller, who are just responsible for the abomination of the Logan Paul boxing career. But with that aside, this exhibition match is going to be fucking cool. And then this is real life. Donald Trump will call Evander Holyfield Vitor Belfort fight with his son, Don Jr. I want to hear this. I wasn't that excited to see the fight. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that would be cool. That would be interesting. If it was on free somewhere, I might check it out. But Trump and his boy are going to be calling the match? Going to be calling the whole card? Like, they aren't just bringing in a special guest commentator for the main event. Former President Donald Trump and his son, Don Jr., will provide commentary on a gamecast for Saturday's pay-per-view boxing event led by Evander Holyfield and Vitor Belfort. Triller Network confirmed to ESPN on Tuesday. This came out like an hour before I finished posting everything for the day. What? This is insane, and it's great. The Trumps will call the entire 4-fight telecast at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida. The card also includes Anderson Silva versus Tito Ortiz, my mistake. Another great scrap that, if it was an MMA fight way back in the cut, would have been amazing. But as for a boxing match, Tito Ortiz, he's a wrestler. He was a very good light heavyweight wrestler, and he was even good outside of the ring, finding a way to politic his way in order to never face Chuck Liddell until he did and got his fucking skull caved in. But Tito Ortiz is not a boxer, and Anderson Silva is one of the best strikers to ever be in the UFC, my mistake. And David Haye versus Joe Fournier. I've heard of David Haye. Is he the big Brit? I think so. And Joe Fournier, I should probably know the name, but it escapes me at the moment. I love great fighters and great fights, Trump said. I look forward to seeing both this Saturday night and sharing my thoughts ringside. You won't want to miss the special event. You're right, because he's going to have a live mic for presumably 2 hours, and his boy's an absolute shit disturber. And yeah, this is nothing new to him. Trump's been in the fight game for a minute. Like, he's been ringside, and he's been at a few UFC events very recently during his presidency and since he's left office. And he also hosted at the Trump Plaza in Atlantic City, WrestleManias 4 and 5. He was a part of the biggest WrestleMania until Rock Cena at 28, WrestleMania 23, the Battle of the Billionaires. Oh yeah, and also running the USFL. Like, the dude's been involved in sports, whatever you think of wrestling, but it's all still in that realm. I've just never heard him call a match or call a fight or call an event before. He's gonna rule. Former president has hosted a number of boxing events through the 80s and 90s at his casino in Atlantic City, yes, the Trump Plaza. He owned a number of golf courses. He owns a number of golf courses, obviously. The Triller event is initially advertised as, yes, between Oscar De La Hoya and Belfort, but the fully vaccinated Oscar De La Hoya was hospitalized with a breakthrough case of COVID-19, and he was dropped. And Evander Holyfield on short notice steps up, and he's older, and I think, I know for sure Vitor's on the other side of 40. It's just, both of those guys are still in ridiculous shape, and then I gotta find a way to watch this. I'm not paying fucking $50 to watch this sideshow freak show, but boy was I not expecting that, but it's a welcome surprise. So, hey, maybe he'll just let slip that he's gonna running again in 2024 on that call Saturday night. Fucking weird timeline we live in, folks. With that said, I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.